Hello. This video is being made especially for the Bridport Guides because they were going to come and do some Indian cooking at my house, but it wasn't possible anymore. So tonight I am going to show you how to make dal, and maybe not only the Bridport Guides might be interested in this, maybe there's some other friends who might be interested in dal making as well. So here you have making my favorite fried dal. Now you might notice there's some very cool Indian music in the background. Super good when you're doing Indian cooking to kind of get in the zone, and so I'm also listening to a couple of my favorite Indian tracks. Alright, so here's the preparation for making dal. Over here we have the masala dabba. So masala means spice and dabba means box. So this is a spice box, and you don't have to have a fancy spice box, of course, but you might need some of these things. In my spice box tonight we're going to use these cumin seeds. We're going to use turmeric powder. We're going to use chili powder, and we're also going to use a little bit of cumin powder as well because I like it really tasty. So they're the spices that we're going to use. We've got some oil here in a fancy Indian oil container, but super cool, any kind of oil you like. And then down here we have the dal. So you can use any kind of dal you want, and I've boiled this up beforehand, so that's why it looks like this, a little bit mushy. So you just boil your dal until it's a little bit mushy. Can still be hot, no worries. And then in my copper Indian water bottle I have some water, so we might need a little bit of extra water when we get to the end of the process. And then we've got some onions. I like red onions just because of the flavour, but you can also use white onions. We have some tomatoes, and I've just got cherry tomatoes because that's what I've got in my garden at the moment, but if you want to use regular tomatoes, that's also what would usually happen in India. Then we have garlic, roughly chopped. I've got some curry leaves, which are something that I really love, but you can only get them at a specialty shop in Launceston, and they're not necessary, but if by some amazing chance you have them, you can of course get them. And my friend Carmony would be super proud. No Indian meal is complete without some salt. So here is my Himalayan rock salt, but you can use any salt you like. So these are the resources for the dal. And then over here on the stove top, I've got the pot ready to go. Okay, you ready? This is how we make the beautiful fried dal. Okay, so we take the oil first, and then we put some oil in the pot. A good amount of oil because this is Indian cooking, and we like to have a good amount of oil. So there's the oil. Maybe I needed a friend, but you know, these days it's hard to have a friend. So then I'm going to put in some spices because it's really important to release the flavour in the spice. That's why we put the spices into the oil straight up. So first of all, I'm going to use the cumin seeds. So I'm going to pop the cumin seeds in. And you might ask how much. Well, it is just a little bit of trial and error, and I've probably put 3 teaspoonsful because I really like the flavour of cumin. Then I'm going to put the the turmeric powder. So turmeric powder, I'm also not really using a teaspoon because I kind of know how much to put. But I reckon about 2 teaspoons full of turmeric powder, and then chili. Now here's the thing. Some people think that Indian food is too hot and so you won't eat it, right? Because it's got too much chili. Well, this all depends how much you put. And I don't want to have my dal super spicy. So in my dal today, I'm just going to put this much chili. But it also depends on the kind of chili powder, and so it might be a bit of trial and error. So best to use a little amount first, and then you can use much more later. So this is what my spices look like frying off in the pan. Sorry about my finger there. And now to my spices that are frying off, I'm going to add the curry leaves. So there they are. And then I'm going to stir that a little bit. So you can hear it kind of popping a little bit now. Beautiful. And then I'm going to put my garlic. So there's the garlic. Hope you like the music in the background, my Sangam friends. Been thinking of you guys. Alright. Also wearing my Sangam t-shirt for you guys today. Alright, so all the spices frying off. And oh my gosh, I wish you were here because it smells really good. Now to this mixture, I'm going to add the onion. So there's the onion going in. And then we let that all sweat down a little bit. So I let this sweat down for a while till the onion's a little bit, well, it's not hard anymore, it's a bit soft. That would be the opposite of hard. And then I'm adding the tomato. So the reason why this dal is called fried dal is because you fry all these things before you put the dal in. Amazing. So same with the tomatoes, just let them sweat down a little bit as well. So now the tomatoes and everything is all nice and cooked down. Now this is when we add the dal. So here comes the dal itself. So just putting that in there now. And mixing that around. So this is where you work out whether you need a little more water or not. And see, mine is quite thick. So I'm going to add some more water. And just for coming, I'm going to add the salt. Oh, the salt's a little bit stuck to the bottom of the container. So there we go. A nice amount of salt. And then we leave this here to cook down maybe for at least 10 or 15 minutes, but you can leave it longer if you want. It will become more flavorful. So I'm pretty hungry though, so I'm going to let mine cook down for 10 minutes and then I'm going to eat it. Alright, so I forgot something. So this is where you want to taste test your dal and make sure you're happy with the flavour. So just I'm going to grab a teaspoon out of the cupboard, out of the drawer. And then I'm going to taste test my dal. So just grab a little bit of the watery part and then taste it to see if you're happy with the flavour. Oh yeah, it's good. But because I like it, I'm going to add a little more cumin seed powder this time. So not the seeds, but the powder. And if you wanted to, if you weren't happy with the amount of chili, this is where you can add more chili powder or more turmeric. And if you really wanted to, you could add more salt. See you in 10 minutes. Alright, so after about 10 minutes, your dal is looking like this. Now you can, if you want, like whiz it, right? So you can use a hand beater to whiz it, or like a bar mix or something like that, or you can eat it just like this. I like to eat it just like this because I like the chunky bits of tomato and onion, but if you want to make it a little smoother, you can. So here you have it, There's the dal. It works really well with a little squeeze of lemon in, so I'm going to squeeze a bit of lemon. I'm also having a bit of broccoli that I made with some fenugreek seeds and some puppet or papadum. And this dal is going to be awesome and amazing. And I hope you enjoyed learning how to make dal, and it won't be long and I will come back online and share how to make some other kind of Indian food with you, because my friends at Bridport Guides were not just coming around to learn how to make dal, they were going to make a bunch of other stuff as well. So more soon. See ya.